Story 1. Please listen carefully as our menu options have changed. Story 2. This feedback is anonymous. No, it is not. It is tied to an email. Story 3. Human Resources cares about employees. Human Resources is actually there to protect the company from employees. Story 4. Returning to the office will allow people to collaborate better, create a tighter community, and enable spontaneous encounters that inspire new ideas and innovation. Story 5. We do not anticipate that the current situation will result in any layoffs. Story 6. We care about our employees. However, they will lay you off quickly to protect their stock price, and if you died, your job would be posted faster than your obituary. Story 7. We are family. Right? Totally. I'll never forget the time Dad overspent last quarter, so we had to dismiss my sister and replace her with 3 other sisters in Hyderabad. Story 8. Salaried positions. If you want someone to work 60 hours, just say so and pay accordingly. Story 9. We are a family here. It is a nice sentiment, but often just code for, we expect you to sacrifice your personal life. Story 10. We treat everyone fairly here. Then we make you a workhorse and squeeze every bit of energy out of you. Story 11. This post makes me extremely grateful for my employer. We have unlimited paid time off, and the executive leadership sets the example that it is important to take time off. After 5 years of employment, we are eligible for a 5-week sabbatical. Every month, we get a day off as a trail day since we are an outdoors-focused company, and the whole company is expected to get outside. When I was diagnosed with cancer, they sent me meal delivery credits, allowed me to move from a management role to an individual contributor role, wrote and updated policies to accommodate my needs, and actually paid me for my family and medical leave act time. I have never heard anyone describe us as a family. The chief executive officer says we are a team, a high-functioning team, which I think helps when someone is not meeting expectations and needs to be let go. This is very rare. Compassionate employers do exist. However, I do not fool myself. If our arrangement ever stops benefiting them, I can be let go. Story 12. We are all family here. Human Resources is here to help you. We value your feedback. Work hard and you will get promoted. Our product is revolutionary. We are making the world a better place. Story 13. They are looking for exceptional performers without realizing that exceptional performers do not work for months or years at a time. Story 14. Maintaining our climate is a shared responsibility. However, my watching 2 hours of Netflix has a much smaller impact compared to the thousands of trucks or dozens of planes actively transporting goods right now. Story 15. Employee bonuses based on the company's results for the most recently concluded fiscal year are usually not authorized or paid out until after reporting on first quarter results of the current fiscal year. This is a shell game. Story 16. Human Resources cares about employees. We are family. We care about your work-life balance. Your feedback matters. We are an equal opportunity employer. Everyone needs to be in the office because human connection matters. Story 17. Employee surveys are anonymous. Your opinion is valued. You are not a number to us. Story 18. We are family. Unless you are Dominic Toretto, I will not believe you. Story 19. We do not have the funds for XYZ. You just have to deal with the problem. My company just gave out $107 million in dividends, but there is no money to fix the leaky pipes or unclog the toilets. Story 20. Human Resources likes to tell us that more money does not retain people. Working towards a goal they believe in is the only way to retain employees. Sure. Story 21. The health and safety of our staff is our #1 priority. Story 22. Crown Escape lunchroom bag entertain toy employ offbeat voracious point. Story 23. Them, we can't justify paying you that much. Me, okay, forget it. I'm out of here. Talk to friends 3 months later. New employee hired at $5 per hour more than I was making, with less experience and knowledge. 3 years later, a revolving door of employees all getting fired while the company paid on average $20,000 more than my salary. Story 24. When another company acquires the one you work for, and they start with "do not worry," No one is going to lose their job. Story 25. Human resources is your friend. No, they are not. They are there to protect the company. Story 26. They do not care about their employees. We are all easily replaceable cogs in the machine. Story 27. Listen carefully, as our menu options have recently changed. No, they have not. AT&T. Story 28. A rising tide lifts all boats, except the executives are in yachts and the rest are in dinghies. Story 29. We want to let everyone know that we have been sold to ABC Company. No worries, nothing will change. Story 30. We do not have enough money to give anyone other than our chief executive officer a raise. Story 31. We work hard and we play hard. No, you make certain people work hard, fixing the mistakes your preferred employees make while playing all day. Story 32. We are all feeling the pinch. Management and above are not feeling the pinch. Everyone else is. Story 33. Your employees do not want raises. They want pizza parties. As a manager at Federal Express, they hired a company to issue a survey and disseminated it to employees, asking them to rank about 20 things employees commonly claimed they wanted from their employer. I asked my employees to make a note of all their rankings. When the results came in, I let them review those results and compare them to their original responses. The employees were so infuriated that their responses were not taken into consideration that they made a significant fuss about it. The higher management ended the misleading attempt and moved on. The top one of my team was higher pay. It was ranked 17th on the survey. The top item on the survey was respect in the workplace. Second was pizza parties. Pizza parties were ranked 19th by my team. Never trust surveys blindly. If you take them, record your answers, have your coworkers do the same, then have someone analyze the actual numbers and confront management with the discrepancies, because there is definitely misleading information. Story 34. We value work-life balance. It sounds great on paper, but in reality, many companies expect you to be available all the time and reward the hustle culture instead. They offer perks like flexible hours and remote work, but if you are not constantly working, it feels like you are falling behind. It is frustrating because it creates pressure to sacrifice personal time just to keep up. At the end of the day, it is all about results, and that balance often disappears. Story 35. This is a great growth and learning opportunity for you. You are being misled into a poor role they need someone to fill. Story 36. You will receive a reward later if you simply put in this additional effort until the other position is filled. Story 37. Unlimited paid time off is a scam designed to discourage people from taking time off and to avoid paying accrued time off when employees leave or are terminated. Story 38. Work your way up the ladder is unlikely to result in much progression unless you leave for another job. Story 39. We are a family. Work-life balance. Family first. Customer obsession. Open to feedback. Story 40. Hard work will pay off. Translation. Your hard work will increase our profit. Story 41. Our doors are always open. This is a friendly invitation, yet many find it is a long trek to reach the right people for real support or change. Story 42. We need you to return to the office because of corporate culture. No, Steve, you just want to micromanage and you are worried about your real estate portfolio. Story 43. Our handbook includes a section stating that unions negatively impact teamwork and that attempting to organize unions suggests a lack of pride and loyalty to the company. Story 44. Large retail companies value their customers. The truth is they value their customers' money, nothing else. Story 45. You should follow all mandatory human resources training instructions. Participating in workplace harassment investigations can lead to termination faster than engaging in harassment within the workplace. Story 46. Team members ask for help when they need something from you, and you do the same when you need something from them. It is nothing personal, just business. Story 47. The number one rule for an employee to remember. Human resources is not your friend. Story 48. That you are valued in any way. Most executives will not hesitate to fire you if it improves their balance sheets for the shareholders. Story 49. We have a strict no cell phone and no personal email policy. While you are here, you are working for us. You had no issue calling me at 2 p.m. on my day off to help resolve a time-sensitive issue. Story 50. You are a valued member of the team. The reality is you are a replaceable part. No one will notice if you leave and someone new comes in. Story 51. Unfortunately, we will not be moving forward with your application as we are pursuing candidates who better match our qualifications. Story 52. In terms of sheer repetition, this is completely unusual call volume. Hold times are longer than normal. Your call is very important to us, so please continue to wait. We are not just running with a skeleton crew in our call center because analytics has told us it does not really change anything if the hold time is 5 minutes or 90. Story 53. Human Resources is here to protect the company from any actions you may take. Story 54. That whole trickle-down economics has done nothing but funnel up wealth. Story 55. When high-level managers say their hands are tied on decisions, it causes issues with lower levels. No, sorry. You always have options. Your orders from above are directives. You can achieve that directive and still create a policy that works for both ends. You just say you can't because that would require creativity and thinking. Story 56. Our people are what make us. High-level executives start firing the same employees to save money. Story 57. Human Resources is there to help solve the everyday problems of employees. Human Resources will always prioritize company productivity and reducing legal liabilities over an individual employee's interests. Story 58. If you ever think to yourself that your corporate company will not do something because it is illegal, just remember, yes, they will. Story 59. Your company is spending millions on Pride Month and inclusivity. You have rainbow banners, cupcakes, special events, and more. However, resumes with pronouns, especially they slash them, are not usually shortlisted. Behind all the rainbow imagery, corporations may not actually want you to express yourself openly, possibly because they fear a lawsuit if someone intentionally misgenders you. Story 60. Workplace violence is not considered bad at all. It is the corporation's most important management tool. Story 61. Trust us that we are actively hiring to help reduce your workload. We just cannot find any qualified candidates. Story 62. Your call is very important to us. Not important enough to answer, apparently. Story 63. Corporate pretending they do anything to benefit the company is usually quite amusing. Story 64. Pay your dues. Go the extra mile and you will be rewarded. It used to be the case, rarely. Now you just get exploited and pushed out if you don't give them 60 hours a week for low pay and poor benefits. It is baffling to see everyone yelling, "No one wants to work," when it is really, no one is willing to be exploited anymore. Story 65. We care about our employees. At the first sign of temporary economic trouble, that care disappears. It is just business when you get laid off before the holidays. Story 66. The harder you work, the more money you will make. Reality, you will learn the ins and outs of a company, then have to deal with people pretending to be unaware to make you take on more responsibility with minimal change in pay. Story 67. They will praise you, give you awards, service pins, and compliments, then cut your legs out from under you while they shake your hand. Story 68. You cannot discuss your pay with each other. Watch me. Story 69. Lifetime warranty or support. Actually about 10 years, or until it becomes unprofitable to provide. Story 70. I'm going to counter with a corporate truth. The moment you start being treated nicely, redundancy is just around the corner. Story 71. One phrase I heard a lot during the pandemic and never believed for a second was, "We are all in this together." Story 72. A performance improvement plan is a genuine attempt to help the employee, rather than a legal mechanism designed to set them up to fail so they can be fired. Story 73. This employee survey is completely anonymous. Do not ever trust that. I naively gave honest negative feedback about sales goals and how hard we were pushed when I worked in a bank branch. A week later, I was placed on an action plan with my branch and district manager regarding my attitude at work. For context, I was a good banker with either a meets or exceeds review year after year. I never spoke to anyone about my thoughts on the sales pressure. Yet this happened immediately after the survey. Story 74. We offer unlimited vacation time. This means you never have to worry about losing accrued vacation when you leave. Studies show that people tend to take less time off when vacation is unlimited because each time they request time off, they wonder, does my boss think I am taking too much time off? Story 75. We cannot give you a raise now, but maybe in 6 months we can revisit this. Story 76. Due to an unusual call volume, our hold times may be longer than normal. We understand concerns about staffing and are working to improve service while integrating artificial intelligence solutions. Story 77. Due to increased costs and inflation, we have no choice but to raise rates for our consumers. Next earnings announcement. We are pleased to report record profits and, as a result, we want to reward our top executives with a 50% increase in salary. Story 78. Flexibility. Some jobs claim to offer great flexibility. In reality, it is the exact opposite. Story 79. Merit-based promotions. Please just tell me that it is based on how much money I generate from our clients. I would not have wasted my time on thought leadership by writing articles. Story 80. Everything will be fine for the corporation, but not so much for you. Story 81. We are fully committed to the success of the project on which you are working. Story 82. Whatever they say the most, it is all lies, whether intentional or not. Story 83. We care about our employees. No, you are just a number and replaceable tomorrow. Your opinions matter. It is confidential. Human resources is your friend. The chief executive officer and president earns his pay. Story 84. Their sustainability documents. Their position on slavery. Their channels for career development are effective. Story 85. We really care about the environment. However, we will not allocate funds for change, but our employees can volunteer to plant 1 or 2 trees. Story 86. They have nothing to do with the current inflation in prices. Story 87. When they try to preach about going green and say that common people are destroying the earth because they left their fast food trash in a parking lot, I do not support littering and strongly dislike it. Story 88. XYZ Corporation does not have feelings. Corporations are organizations designed to generate revenue from human activity. Story 89. We are going to give you a bonus. Size. Put that in writing, you slimy piece of software. Story 90. Call volume is unusually high, so hold time might be longer than usual. For faster service, visit our website. Story 91. We are facing tough economic headwinds again this year, so there will be no raises. Anyway, now let us look at our record profits from last quarter. Story 92. We cannot give you a pay raise because we do not have the money. Story 93. Pay, bonuses, and commission are up to a certain amount. You will rarely see that amount. The best person in the best location might occasionally reach it, but that is uncommon. A good general rule of thumb is when you see up to next to any pay information, reduce that figure by 20 to 30% to estimate the actual amount. Story 94. Chief Executive Officer. The company is financially strong. The following week, bankruptcy. Story 95. We have to achieve cost savings this year because last year was not as profitable. However, let's replace all the artwork in the building because it feels outdated. Also, change the cubicle chairs as they do not match. There is constant manager travel, catered lunches excluding pizza, and off-site meetings 2 blocks away when we have a large meeting and training area in the building. Story 96. Hard work pays off. It helps them get more results from limited resources. Maybe it will get you something, but usually it just leads to them assigning you more work as a baseline. Story 97. We care about the environment and diversity, not because we need to defend against accusations. Story 98. No corporation cares about social media politics. They only decorate their logos with the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer flag to get more people buying their products. Story 99. Our human resources department is here to assist you, the employee. No, your human resources department is there to avoid liability. Story 100. Tax breaks for corporations help everyone by lowering costs and increasing the number of jobs. Story 101. Promise of future earnings. We cannot give a raise now, but maybe later. Story 102. We will pay you for the long hours and weekend work through your bonus. Story 103. We will make up salary shortfalls with incremental merit increases. Story 104. This post shows that companies lie about everything, which is why it is ridiculous for them to be shocked when their employees are not loyal. Story 105. Your call is important to us. We are experiencing higher than usual call volumes for the last 11 years. Story 106. Our menus have changed. How do you know? I may have called 5 minutes ago. Even if I did not, it is unreasonable to assume that I am going to waste space in my brain remembering what your menus are. And if I did not remember them, why should I care whether they have changed? It is not just a lie almost all the time. It is a complete waste of my time telling me so. Story 107. Human resources exists to protect the employees. Human resources exists to protect the company. Always, everywhere, without exception. Your company did not hire people and spend investors' money to protect you from the company. Story 108. Work hard and you will earn a promotion. Usually, the promotion does not come just by having good performance. You have to fight for it. Story 109. Listed under the job position benefits. An appreciation for your work. Story 110. One of our primary goals for 2024 is employee retention. We will do everything possible to ensure maximum retention. Story 111. After a merger or acquisition, do not worry. We do not plan on changing anything, and no layoffs will occur. Story 112. 1. We are experiencing higher than normal call volume. 2. Your opinions are valued by us. 3. Our online help portal is an easy and enjoyable way to get the answers you need. 4. Employee retention is very important to us. That is why we offer competitive compensation packages. Story 113. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients and materials, but the label states they are made in China. Story 114. We see no need for a workplace reduction at this time. This was told to us in a speech on a Wednesday. However, we had a layoff that Friday. Story 115. Employees are our strongest asset. We are customer-focused and maintain private sector discipline. Story 116. We care about our customers, employees, community, environment, and partners. Story 117. They do not value your work. Before working at any company, find out how many people work there before you and how often employees leave. If possible, ask current employees before applying. They may offer benefits for longer tenure, but this often indicates retention problems caused by poor treatment of staff. If many employees have only been there for a few months or a few years at most, while the company has operated in the location for many years, it suggests high turnover. Longer-term employees often inform new hires about how poorly supervisors and managers treat them. Story 118. One of our most important values here is a healthy work-life balance. Story 119. Tie between we are a family and making the world a better place. Story 120. We must pass these costs on to the consumer. No, you can pay your chief executive officer and shareholders less. Story 121. We want you to succeed here, so please report to us when you are underperforming. Story 122. Reducing staff will make us leaner, more efficient, and more competitive. Story 123. At XYZ Corporation, we prioritize shareholder value. As a publicly held company, management has a legal and fiduciary duty to prioritize shareholder interests above all else. Failure to do so can result in legal action. Story 124. Hey, I know we just bought your company, but don't worry. We are going to let you run it just like you were. It is all going to be okay. Story 125. We do not have the budget for that. Of course you do. You just do not want to spend it on us. Story 126. Returning to the office will increase productivity, foster corporate culture, and promote in-person collaboration. Story 127. That they care. Every single one of us can be fired at any moment. Story 128. Meets expectations. Annual reviews are often ineffective for various reasons and explain why quiet quitting remains a concern. You can exceed your job description and still receive a meets expectations rating because the company enforces a bell curve. How can two people with the same job but different performances receive the same rating? You can include detailed comments in each person's review, but the final rating remains meets expectations. Additionally, you can meet expectations while the company does not. For example, you may not receive a bonus, but the CEO still does. If the CEO does not meet shareholder expectations, how do they still get a bonus while you do not? The logic does not add up. Story 129. Lately, after acquiring another company, receiving government incentives, conducting stock repurchases, and giving large executive bonus payouts, the company stated there will be no layoffs. Story 130. We are all in this together. It is true to an extent, but it is just so corny and stupid. Some high school music mantra. Story 131. That human resources does not have any authority. They are all working from home now and are completely disconnected from actual business. Story 132. We value experience in multiple areas, so we are moving you to. Story 133. The common person needs to do their part for the planet. Recycling and going green are good for the average person, but the actions of individual citizens in Australia do not compare to the impact that corporations have on the country. Story 134. You are our most valuable asset only when we need you to produce. You become redundant as soon as we need to balance the book, forecast, or make investors happy. Story 135. We really appreciate all your hard work. They might as well not say anything because it is worth the same as air. Story 136. Free donuts in the break room. An elusive promise that keeps employees hopeful but never seems to materialize. Story 137. Trust me. Honest. This Mustang has never been wrecked or had any mechanical problems, says the salesman at the used car lot. Story 138. Give us tax cuts, and we will not use the extra money to repurchase our own stock to increase the stock price. Story 139. XY virtual private network makes you completely anonymous. In 99% of cases, it cannot be further from the truth. Story 140. We cannot afford promotions at this time, said every time, while bragging about record profits. Story 141. We value our employees' feedback and opinions. However, we do not ignore or dismiss suggestions. Story 142. We're a family. Work-life balance. Human resources is here for you. We value your feedback. Work hard and you will get rewarded accordingly. Everyone here is important. Story 143. That whatever it is they are selling will be exactly what you need to achieve true lasting happiness. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.